with the wonderful world of technology and Zoom, which has turned out to be probably one of the most used communication channels of Lions these days. I'm with you here now, so thank you again. I've been thinking about what to talk about today, and when you consider what's happened to us over the past 12 months, that word that we've heard so often of unprecedented seems to stand out. Everybody's talked about it, everybody's mentioned it, public arena, through the media, and of course we've experienced it ourselves as Lions. From our perspective, and for many of us, it's probably put our Lions involvement on hold or reduced what we would normally do, and in some cases that's been reduced quite dramatically. You know, the restrictions have varied between state to state and of course from city to regional areas. But if we take that all into consideration and think about it, you know, perhaps this comes out as a real positive for us, because it's given us the opportunity to stop, to stand back and take stock of where we are at as being Lions. You know, and that could be at the club level, at the community level, and even district and beyond. I believe, you know, at this time has now given us a great chance to rekindle ourselves at all of our levels, from club right through to multiple district level. You know, review our focus, support and membership, and reach out to our community. That focus, you know, really centres around our three main areas that we're all aware of, and that's membership, leadership and service. You know, our global action team focus areas, which is so much of what we do at all levels these days. In this time I've got with you, I would like to provide you with a few thoughts, a few suggestions, and hopefully a few challenges that you might like to take on as members and clubs. We've all experienced things in different ways, you know, over this past 12 months, but really in the true Lions style that we used to, we've all bounced back. We're now ready to get going again, and I think with a renewed amount of enthusiasm too. You know, over the past weeks, I've been talking to a lot of Lions from different areas, and they've all said how much they've missed the activities, the fundraising events, and even attending meetings for the fellowship that we do enjoy. They haven't missed the business as such, because we've continued to deal with that, you know, via email, via Zoom, and phone calls, but the face-to-face catch-ups and the times together as Lions is what we really have missed. You know, the needs are still out there in our community, and they're probably growing, and they need us to be back there and out helping with them. One of the things I think we need to look at first of all is our own membership, particularly our members at the club level, and make sure that they are okay. We're ready to get back, but not all of them are ready to get back at the same speed as we are. Involvements have been different in every area, and I think some members may have felt a little isolated. Communication sometimes has been difficult because of the circumstances we're in, and perhaps they haven't been as involved as we really wanted them to be. Naturally, of course, we've still got to be aware of our COVID responsibilities and restrictions, and our members' health and welfare, I believe, must be at the forefront of everything that we do. Each member's own situations needs to be treated with respect, and we need to be supportive in all of our other cases that we're dealing with. I think everybody, you know, would agree that we use that catchphrase of kindness matters, and this really is true, but it also means to us as Lions and not just to the community. Getting back to having a healthy club, I think is one of our priorities. And from there, we can work our way back into supporting our community. We all know when we have strong membership, clubs work better together, they are supportive, and we can do more to help others. You know, club operations have had to become flexible over these past year, and many of the things that we did before COVID that were perhaps traditions may not have been possible over this time. But has this caused us any issue? I don't think so, but we've managed and we've still operated. What we really have done is adapted. And as many of us say, you know, that aspect of change management in our environment, well, we've done it. We've made those changes, we've adapted to it, and probably will be better for it in the long run. So I say to you all, don't stop now. Let's continue doing what we're doing, perhaps continue and challenge the norm that we've been used to, because we can do things differently. When we know we've got that right, we can begin showing the community we really are a force to be reckoned with. What I've said leads sort of on to probably our service, our activity sides of things. And in this past period, we've seen many changes in what's happening in our local communities. Our community engagement has suffered, I'm sure, and we haven't been out there doing what we do so well, having our fundraising activities and our community events. And these have all suffered, not just by us, but every community involvement group, I'm sure. But now I think it opens up a wonderful opportunity for us to connect back with our community leaders, refresh the associations that we've had, check on the community needs, and consider what we and individually as clubs can actually do. Check to see if the priorities in your area have changed from those 12 months ago. That's the big thing. And are the needs the same or are they different? These challenges are ready for us to take on. We need to go out there and ask the community leaders, local government, police, SES, and even our friends of the club, what they see are the needs. And then we've got to consider what our own clubs are capable of doing. Individual members and your own knowledge of the community is what's going to work really well for us. I think we've all seen over time that sometimes a new focus can rejuvenate the enthusiasm of a club and be good for all members, but you need to go out there and you need to look as individual clubs. I think it is really important for us as Lions to be seen out there again and in the community. It may only be doing a small project, a fundraiser, or just even taking the time to set up a stand in the street to show what clubs are actually doing. You know, very shortly, as everybody's aware, we've got Lions Awareness Week coming up, and probably the timing is perfect to be able to do something. I know there are plenty of resources around to help you promote your club. And when it is done, we've got the opportunity to show what are things done locally, what you do as a district together, and also what we have at the community level right across the whole of Australia. There are so many activities we as Lions are involved in, and I'm sure that it will get the interest of everyone who may pass by if you're out there in the community. We all say on many occasions that we are the quiet organisation, and maybe now, as part of all of this, it's time for us to stand on a few of the rooftops and yell a bit harder than we have before to make sure that the community is really aware of what we're about. We need to be prepared to go out and talk to the community, tell them who we are, not wait for them to come to us. And I think that's a challenge that is before all of us. Projects that have a direct district or local focus is what will get our communities interested. And that may be your opportunity to ask those members on the community that might pass by, see you working, to come in and join in on a project. Not necessarily to ask them straight away to join up, but to actually come and see what we do as Lions at the coalface, helping the community. Because sometimes when that person sees that the impact is there in their own local community, they want to be part of it. And then that opens the door for us in the future. You know, we always say that membership really is a key to service. And without our members, we can't serve our community. We cannot provide those in need with the help and the assistance. And if we cannot meet these challenges, we can't do the job that we're set for. But here we are, we're in a situation that we can shine, and I think we can grow even stronger than we are now. And then, of course, we look at the leadership aspects, and that is so important. Leadership of our Lions and the way we support them, right through at the club office bearers level, cabinet members, and every Lion who has an interest to do something or learn more. We always need to be giving our members every opportunity to progress in roles at club and in district level. And here we are looking now, coming up to succession planning. And in the important part of clubs is we need to look at, not just at this time of the year when we start to consider about elections and who's going to be the president, who's going to be the secretary or treasurer. But we need to start to look at that on a longer term basis, not just at that particular time every year. Our club members, individually and as a group, are the ones that are the future of our Lions organisation. And they're going to drive what our future is going to be about. So I ask to you all to consider and give every opportunity for members to take on new challenges, to do something new or different, and particularly encourage our newer members to think about what they can give to your club. Support them, mentor them, and watch them develop. I encourage our longer term members to be the driver behind that, to let them develop and support the newer members and give them the opportunities to progress. You know, when we think of it, we as Lions have a lot to give. So let's allow everyone to give what they can. Before I go on to a few final comments, I'd like to ask each member and club to consider what I've said. Look at your membership, look at your community, make them proud of what you do as Lions by telling them about us. And maybe that's the start to a future growth. One aspect I would like to touch on that is relevant to all, and that is Lions' support of our many foundations and our group. You know, we have to acknowledge that the way that we look at supporting our foundations is very important. And I recommend that we look at things as we do at a club level towards supporting our local area. But other projects as well, considering our projects and foundations, I ask that we consider our own Lions family ones first, because we know the integrity of what they do and how they deliver. When you consider making your donations, we make sure you know where the donation goes and what it will be used for. Beware of donating into what we refer as the big bucket. You know, the general donations to a cause where we as Lions or clubs don't have any control over the outcome of what we have donated. As was mentioned before, and this is so relevant today, we know that many organisations take a percentage of your donations as in administrative costs. So the real value of any contribution is never realised, but Lions projects and Lions foundations don't do that. So your donation benefits in full, and that was just talked about before, and it's so great to hear. Raising funds is always hard for clubs, so spend them wisely and where it counts and where it will do the most significant benefit. You know, finally, we've got two major events coming up in our very near future. Of course, our Moldable District Convention, which is going to be held in Canberra this year. It will be great to attend and catch up with so many Lions that we haven't been able to see for a while, because of course we're unable to have our convention in Adelaide. So I encourage you all to think about attending, as this will be a significant time for all of us to be together again and take part in setting the future of our Moldable District going forward. Also in June, we have our international convention, which was to be in Montreal, but as we already know, due to COVID, the face-to-face convention has been cancelled. But we are having an international convention. It will be similar to I am here with you now. It will be virtual. The program will be timed across a number of time zones around the world, so that it won't be here we are down under having to get up at 2 a.m. in the morning to watch a plenary session. So we'll get to see it at reasonable hours when we want to. It will be different, and speaking to our people in Chicago, they're working on it really fast to try and put together a program that's going to be different and for all. So it's an opportunity for those that have never attended an international convention to be part of it. Registrations will still apply, but it will allow members and even clubs to gather together around a screen, a computer or otherwise, and watch the sessions being presented. Voting for the board, your presidents and executives will still happen. And that's being finalised now, because it has been agreed, of course, we have to have an election to be able to bring in our new board as well. You know, members of the board have extended over this past 12 months another year further than they were expected to do. So these are the things that are coming on. So please, I say to everybody, watch out for the announcements. They will be happening soon, and we'll start to see plenty of information flowing through from international very shortly. And we can register as individuals and also as individual members. A group option will be a fantastic opportunity to bring a club together to actually sit, participate and watch what happens at an international convention. It will be a special one this year. So I know it's always hard for sitting listening on somebody on the screen. So I'm going to say at this stage to you, District Governor Kevin and your conventioneers and guests, thank you for allowing me to join you all today. I hope that I may have given you a few thoughts for clubs to take away, to think about and maybe challenge as we go forward with this next 6 months of your year. I hope that they continue to support you in your role, and thank you and the other governors for your leadership of our Moldable District to achieve what we are achieving. To everyone, enjoy the rest of the weekend. Sorry that I can't be with you, but my thoughts are, but as Lions, let's keep safe, keep healthy, and be proud of the badge that we wear. So thank you all, and have a wonderful convention to continue.
I was going to ask if anyone had any questions of Lion Tony.
Tony, just an idea that I'd like to put forward, that as a question, but really as an idea.
Sure, David.
But when we consider registration for international convention, I wonder whether the board has thought, or the convention committee has thought about an opportunity like we've experienced today, where a district could have a big screen with a 3-hour coverage of an international president's introduction and the district governors of the world with the taking the oath and maybe a keynote speaker. So it could be a 3-hour presentation that we could register as a district for. Thank you.
Yes, certainly, David. Look, that will be, they're hoping to be one of the options that is going to be available, whether it be on an individual basis or a club that might decide to have a gathering together and sit there and do it. You know, a member will be able to share a registration, or a club to share a registration. And if you could orchestrate, you know, that in a large screen, that will be, is one of the aspects that they're hoping to do.
Any more questions? No? Tony, I have a question for you, if I may. My name's Brad,
Yes, Brad.
Australian Lions and Oz. We had a guest speaker here earlier, Rebecca. She mentioned a lot of things about change with COVID, how we have to change, add, minus, you know, because of what's happened. At club level, what did your club do differently to continue what they were doing amongst the COVID crisis?
Well, that's an interesting question. Thank you. I've got to think about it. What do we do? I think over the period for us, and my club in South Vermont is a club of 32. We're a metropolitan club in Melbourne. Over the period of time, we tried to do setups of our individual committees, you know, our first, second and third vice president who have responsibilities. They would take on little group sessions over the period to keep members involved. You know, naturally, of course, we refer down here in Melbourne, in particular the area, we were the lockdown capital of Australia. So we had 112 odd days where we were lucky to get out to the front gate. But we used Zoom a lot, which has, you know, really been a godsend to a lot of us of being able to catch up with individuals. Many weren't working, of course, so we used odd occasions. The catch-ups on Zoom started to become a regular thing. We'd have coffee mornings. Our partners would get together and do the same. We did our meetings over Zoom. When we finally got together, and that was just before Christmas, was the first opportunity since March in Victoria for our club. We eventually got together to celebrate changeover, our charter anniversary and Christmas all in one function. But that was the first time that we got together, and that highlighted the importance of the fact that over that period of time, the communication really played a big part. Nobody felt out of it because at least somewhere along that line, they were participating in some way, our partners as well as our members. Now things are a little bit better and we're starting to get back to normal. But I think for us, it was those little sessions of doing things, still doing the business that we had to do, but we did it proportionally rather than the once a fortnight, but on a regular basis. And I think that was the big difference.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Yeah, one more question here.
Good afternoon, Tony. Peter Mercer, Lions Club of Taking Point.
Hi, Peter.
How are you?
Good.
Good, good. Changing your hats, if you don't mind.
Sure.
On behalf of our district, we would like to thank you and ALF for the support that you've given to our district through the droughts, more recently through the bushfires. It's been tremendous support. Clubs have been able to go back into their communities and give the people who are affected a great deal of support. I was speaking to Bill Shepherd yesterday, who was just finishing off one of the last bushfire projects that they had, which was replacing fencing. And he tells me that one family that they've just helped basically has prevented this pot guy from committing suicide. He was to a point at one stage where he was desperate enough that he'd lost everything. When the Lions came in and rebuilt his fencing and helped him emotionally, it made a difference to his life. So on behalf of our district, our sincere thanks to you and to ALF for the support you've given us.
Well, thank you, Peter. Look, We're just part of that mechanism. You guys on the ground are the ones that make it happen. We're just in the background to it. But yeah, we work together, and now we unfortunately are repeating a situation now in Western Australia where they're going through something that we've experienced over the east. So we're lucky. The Lions are on the ground, and it's only as a result of that we can all work together. So no, thank you. I appreciate it. We're still there to help, and if you need more help, you know where to call.
Do we have any more questions? Kevin?
Just a question, Tony. It hasn't been a very good year for my fellow district governors, because we missed out on Adelaide, we missed out on Singapore. We're going to be asked to pay $50 to go to a virtual one. Has anybody been consideration for the district governors of 2021 to not have to worry about paying that amount?
Haven't heard anything, Kevin, but I'll certainly be happy to take that up with them.
Right.
Yeah, I've just seen the broader information out, but no, most certainly I'll pass that on and ask of that situation. I was actually this morning on an LCI hookup at midnight talking about some of those things, and nothing was mentioned. So that's a great point. I'll leave it with me and I'll come back to you.
Thank you, Tony. I don't think we have any more questions. Looking around the room, no. Once again, we thank you for joining us. Technology is fantastic, and we thank you for your words of wisdom, and we all hope to see you very, very soon, maybe face to face next time.
It would be great.
On behalf of the convention here, Tony, thank you very much for coming in on the Zoom. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you all, and enjoy. Bye, everyone.